You're listening to the Restoration Podcast, conversations of hope and healing. Join us as we talk about subjects dealing with ministry, faith, everyday life, and other hot topics. Our prayer is that these conversations bring encouragement to your life. Okay, Chance, welcome.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, thanks for being here. We've been saying this for a long time.
Yeah.
Said, we're going to have you on the podcast, and then things happened. So sorry it took us so long, but thanks for doing it.
Yeah, you're good. You had a baby. I'm having one too.
You're about to have one at the time of this. Yeah, life's been kind of crazy, but I'm excited to let you share your testimony, your story. I think it'll encourage people. The theme of our podcast is conversations of hope and healing. And so the goal is after each episode, and we've had all kinds of people on, but after each episode, whoever's listening or watching, that they're like uplifted, that they receive hope and healing. We've had, like I said, all kinds of people that share all kinds of testimonies, awesome stuff. And so anytime I meet someone that has a testimony that's powerful, I'm like, we got to get them on the podcast.
Yeah, you got to keep it going.
And then anytime it's a friend, it's a bonus. So this is a bonus. And I guess Scott's here too.
Yes, I am here.
So will you just take a minute and just introduce yourself to the world? Tell people what your name is, what you do, and like your connection with this church.
My name's Chance Eaton. I'm from Sioux City, born and raised here in town. I am the oldest of 4 kids in my family. I sell real estate for a living. Before that, I did construction. So been here in town my whole life. My connection with the church is my brother-in-law, Chelsea and Alex. They were coming here, and my wife and I, Hannah, we were going to a different church, and they were inviting us to the men's group. Once a month, we would come over here, fellowship with the guys, eat food just on the first Wednesday of the month, and we decided to make a change, so we decided to come here after we changed churches, January 2023. So we were going on 2 years here, buddy.
That's recent. It's kind of it's more recent than I think because I feel like you've been here for so long.
Oh wait, let me see. January 2024.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah.
January 2024. This would be 2 years coming up in January.
Yeah. So, like, I remember seeing y'all come and attend, and I remember because I'm the worship pastor here, and so I don't think people realize, but we can see everything from the platform.
Yeah, you told me that.
We can see everyone. So we know when someone's been missing for a few weeks or, if they move places or something. And so I noticed you. And when I say I noticed you, I mean, I didn't recognize y'all. You get what I'm saying? When I started coming, I was like, who's that younger couple? And then Hannah and you and me have a connection for a different reason. Will you tell people that our early connection, why are we so connected?
Oh, so Pastor Aaron, or my friend Aaron Morales, he orchestrated, affiliated our wedding.
Officiated.
Oh, yeah.
I like that orchestration word, though.
He went to this premarital counseling.
Yep.
We did that, and my wife and I were his first wedding ever, so that was kind of a cool honor to have, and we wouldn't want it any other way.
Oh, same, man. I got to be honest with you, though. If I can, when y'all approached Nicole, our office administrator, about getting married here, they're like, okay, I don't know if they asked, but they're like, well, you'll need an officiant. I think y'all are the ones that said we don't care as long as it's somebody. So Nicole actually let the pastors know like who's available, and it was down to me and one other pastor. And so I had met, and I didn't know y'all at the time, and I was like, who is this? Who's Chance? Like what? And then me and the other pastor messaged back and forth, and we both said that we didn't care if either pastor did the wedding, if that makes sense. So I was like, I'm cool if you do it. I'm cool if I do it. And he said the same thing. And then it must have been Holy Spirit because I told him, I said, you know what, let me go ahead and do it. And so I remember I approached y'all and said, I'd love to do your wedding. And y'all were like super excited. And I was like, this is my first one. So
I think we were cool with that.
Yeah.
And we feel more connected with you than some of our other options.
Yeah, no, I understand. And same here. That happens too, like, because we're a church, and I forgot about that because I knew I was going to be a worship pastor. So I was like, oh, music. And then when I got hired, there was a wedding, like one of my first weekends, and I was like, oh, I guess I got to help with those too. and then there was a funeral, and I forget about that part. And so it's nice when it's someone that you have a connection with. And then you, like you said, part of our, if you get married at Restoration Church, you have to have premarital counseling. So I had to do that too. That was the first time I did it, and it was a good experience. Thank you all for being like a good experience. And what I will say, and I mean this, and this will be on camera forever. Y'all's wedding is probably one of the most, what word can I use to describe? There's so many options. It's one of the most sincere and like beautiful weddings I've ever been a part of. And I'm not saying that because I was the officiant,
Yeah.
okay? I mean, that was part of it. No, not really. But
That's why he's saying it.
no, no, no. It was really beautiful, and it was a blend of families and just a worshipful atmosphere. And so I want to acknowledge you and commend you and Hannah for doing it right, for having a God-centered. It was evident from the moment people walk in that it was a God-centered marriage, that it was a God-ordained marriage, that y'all were meant to be, and it was beautiful. Like, serious, I mean it.
Yeah, our anniversary was just a few days ago.
Yeah,
buddy.
a whole year. I can't believe that.
1 year ago already.
Congrats on that. But yeah, that's something that'll stick out in my mind forever. So thank you again for that
I
opportunity.
remember you told me that when we're done, and you're
Seriously.
like that. You guys set the standard because that's how weddings should be.
Y'all really did.
I remember that you told me that's how weddings should be. Like you
Yep.
did it the right way.
You did.
Didn't flex on nothing.
No, and I remember telling y'all at the rehearsal, we went through stuff, and I was like, we went through all the things, the wings, the rings, not the wings, the exchanging of wings.
He's still thinking about lunch.
No, I'm not. The exchanging of rings and all that stuff, and the entrance of the bride, blah, blah, blah. And I told you, I said, hey, y'all did something that a lot of our weddings do. Not everyone does, but we offer. So whenever people get married, we always say it's up to y'all, the couple. We really mean the bride, right? Like, we can do whatever you want. If you want the unity candle, did y'all do that or no? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, tying up, there's all these things. One of the things I like to see at weddings, Christian weddings, or a Christian couple, is inviting the families to come and pray over the couple.
Yeah, that was
And
your idea.
I remember at the rehearsal, I said, I'm just warning you. I said, if you haven't cried at the ceremony at that point, like if you keep it together, great. Good luck on this part. Because when me and Tori got married, I held it together. But when our family surrounded us, I lost it. Like, I couldn't even speak. I was.
I don't think I made it that far.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful moment, and everything was beautiful. I wanted to make sure to get that because it was awesome. And thanks again for that opportunity. But the more I got to know you, I've gotten little snippets of your testimony of what life was like before you met Christ. And it's funny to me because all these people that you rub shoulders with in the church, you don't know their story. You don't know their testimony, who they were before Christ, and you were one of those examples. If you had never told me the small parts of your testimony that I now know, I would have never thought that was you. And that just shows the life-changing power of Jesus, and his grace is real. And so we wanted you to be on the podcast and share your story. Take as long as you like within reason. I think you said you have the next 6 hours available, but please don't take 6 hours.
Yeah.
But what is your testimony? When did you find Jesus, and what was life like before and all that?
I appreciate you asking, buddy. So, I grew up in a home that we didn't praise the Lord. We didn't go to church.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even a thought when we grew up. My parents were 16 when I was born. I'm the oldest. My sister was born. They were 18, so they were kids.
Wow.
Raising kids.
Mm-hmm.
I was made to believe that partying and drinking and having friends around all the time was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents, I grew up, and I probably shouldn't have done this, but I looked up their criminal history.
You looked up your parents' criminal history?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely should not have done that.
Not many teenagers can say they've done that.
Yeah.
I looked it up. When I got older, though, I was older,
Yeah.
and I looked back, and I was not surprised with the person I became after I seen what I was being raised in.
Yeah.
So my parents, they were drinking, they were smoking all the time. I remember when I was 5, I hit a cigarette for the first time. My parents' friend threw it off the back porch, and it was dark out. It was a party at our house. I ran over there and hit it, and disgusting. Never forgot that moment. I was only 5, and now my son's 5.
Oh, my word.
So it's like one of them things where I never forgot that.
Yeah.
and now he gets to be raised up in a different
Yeah,
atmosphere.
absolutely. Yeah.
And that's what all parents want. So I mean, growing up, being the oldest, I was involved in sports a lot.
Mhm.
I did taekwondo, I did football. I made the rugby team. Like I literally founded the rugby team in Sioux City my freshman year. So when I was in sports, I was so busy all the time I wouldn't act out.
Yeah.
But when there wasn't sports around, I didn't have nothing to do. So then I started acting out.
Mm.
So um, let's say on the off season, that's when I started doing bad stuff, aka just running around with my friends.
Mhm.
In eighth grade, I got like my first real girlfriend,
Mhm.
and I was like, all right, this is cool. So we hung out, and then we just started doing bad habits like our parents were doing.
Mhm.
So we were drinking, we were smoking at 14 years old.
Mhm.
I was going to school, using marijuana,
Yeah.
and all my priorities were messed up. So before I had used or drank, I was a B honor roll student my whole life.
Mhm.
After that, I was like getting C's and D's. I didn't care as long as I got by.
Mhm.
So that happened 14, 15, just using and smoking all the time, running around with my friends. And then when I was 16, I got in a fight. I got in a fight a lot because I just wanted to lash out.
Yeah.
But this guy, long story short, he had stole my mom's purse,
Mm.
and then I went and found him, and I beat him up pretty good. Just for real, I broke his eye socket
Oh
right
my
at
gosh.
16, and they had charged me as an adult. And there's no going back after that.
Yeah.
So I was 16, locked up,
Mhm.
and then when I got out, I was there for a few months, maybe 3 months.
Mhm.
When I got out, my parents said, "Oh, you can't, you can't be with your girlfriend anymore." So that was like my first love, right? I was like,
16.
I was like, "There's no way I'm not gonna."
Traumatized.
There's no way I'm not gonna be with her. So then, happens when you tell a bad kid no? They're gonna do it anyways,
Oh my
right?
gosh. Yeah.
So I started just acting worse. Um, Basically on my own since I was 17. I got kicked out of school because of the fight, right? So
Mhm.
then I had to go to an alternative school. And I'm pretty book smart, so I graduated my junior year when I turned 17. And I like turned 17 and I graduated because I was just grinding out these books
Yeah.
and then getting credit, credit, credit. I did a year's worth of credit in 3 months. So I didn't have a senior year. I didn't get to walk. I didn't. I do have a diploma because I graduated, but they wouldn't let me walk. They wouldn't let me do senior photos.
This was the alternative school.
Yes, so
Okay.
I did the alternative school, and then that was probably the worst thing that could have happened to me because I was 17, no job, nothing to do. So I was just running around with my best friend. His name was Aaron at the time as well.
Hey, it wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't this guy,
Not this Aaron.
but he was my best friend
Yeah.
at the time, and I was still running around getting in trouble. And when I turned 18, I was on my own still. I had my own place at 17, and I don't think you're supposed to do that. But my parents didn't want to take care of me anymore.
Yeah.
But when I turned 18, something very traumatic happened where my mom and my dad, they were together for 21 years at the time.
Yeah.
They were together for a long time, and they got divorced.
Mm.
And like pretty much the family that I knew and grew up with was nothing. It was
Yeah.
broken.
Yeah.
And um, I would make fake numbers and text my dad like these memes or like a saying because I was hurt.
Mhm.
I was hurt, so
Yeah.
I didn't want him to know, but he knew.
Mhm.
Come on, guy. But so I would text him these words or just something to hurt him because I was hurt.
Yeah.
And then he called me and said, "I'm not your dad. Ask your mom." And I was like, Nah. I was in denial.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked my mom, and she was like, "Well, there was a chance, but we didn't want to find out."
Hmm.
Okay, so now the family that I knew was also broken,
Yeah.
but also it was a lie.
Hmm.
My whole life was a lie at that point, and I didn't know Jesus, and I was broken.
Yeah.
So anybody I came in contact with, I hurt.
Hmm.
Not physically, but like
Yeah.
I didn't care. I didn't trust anybody,
Right.
and I didn't care for people because I was hurt and broken. So I went into a spiral. I had my first OWI at 18. Notice I said first, but
For those who don't know, an OWI
is operating while intoxicated.
yeah,
So do
just so
not
people.
drink and drive. Don't drink at all, and you have much less problems.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that was ever gonna happen to me. I was like, I'll never get caught. There's no way. I'm just 18. I did, and um, after a lot of run-ins with the law, I decided not to go out anymore. So I would drink and party in at home.
Mm.
So I was doing all this at home, and I was broken. And basically, long story short, a habit turns into something else, and then I started selling marijuana to fuel my addictions. I needed to
Yeah.
keep getting more and more and more.
Yeah.
And then when I was 19, 20, I started going to music festivals, and I finally felt like I belonged for the first time in a long time, probably since the last time I played sports. Like that's when I felt I belonged, was I was on a team, right? Which is I'm very competitive nowadays.
Yeah. You're still competitive.
I'm
That's
still
true.
very
Yeah.
competitive, right?
That's true.
But I don't play on a team, so
Yeah.
I just try to win. But anyways, so I went to music festivals and I felt the love, but I also started dabbling in other things like
Mm-hmm.
psychedelics, LSD,
Mm.
mushrooms, Molly, pretty much anything except for heroin or meth I've done.
Hmm.
Uh, so I started doing that, and I felt a sense of like I belonged, but I also didn't have control when I took those
Yeah.
drugs. When I would take those, I would feel a little bit of relief because I didn't have control for those few hours.
Yeah.
And this went on since I was 19, 20 until about 25. I had my son Chance Jr. And I wish I could say that it did change my life, but it didn't stop all my habits.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely changed some of my priorities, but all my habits were still there.
Wow.
At this time, I was working I was working construction on the road, where I was traveling from California to Pennsylvania, building warehouses for somebody else. And I liked construction because I also felt like I belonged or I was doing something good because I'm building something.
Right.
You can see the progress,
Yeah.
um, which is cool now because I'm also building something good now in my
Yeah.
real estate world too. So, but anyways, I was seeing Chance maybe 4 days a month.
Hmm.
I would travel for 3, 4 weeks, come back for 4 days,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be gone again. And for those 4 days, all I would do is party.
Hmm.
I would just be gone. And it was his first birthday, and I said, "Well, I'm not working on the road anymore." So then I started working in town. Okay, so those 4 days that I would have a month were now 30 days a month. So I can just hang out with my friends and uh, be a dad, but also do the same thing my parents were doing when I was a kid,
Yeah.
right? So I grew up seeing my parents drink and smoke and sell in the house. Well, I was doing the same thing. I didn't realize it.
Hmm.
And then in 2022, I got my second OWI. And for a quick reminder, OWI is operating while intoxicated. This is the second one. I get 3. I'm going to prison,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, Chance was in the car
Oh my gosh.
when I got my second one. I got pulled over because of window tint, and that's is what it is. But when I got in the car, I said, "Hey, my son's in the car. Just please don't deal with him. Take me to jail. I told him,
Wow.
take me to jail,
Mm-hmm.
and just please don't touch my son.
Hmm.
That's what he did. He left chains. I probably could have got a ton more charges.
Hmm.
Wait, am I incriminating myself on video?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Am I incriminating myself now? Hey, take this story as motivation, because just because you messed up, just because you have a fallback, or just because maybe you don't even know Jesus,
Yeah.
or you know somebody who don't know Jesus, that's living a life I was.
Mm-hmm.
Share the story.
Yeah.
Share it to them, because I'm living proof it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So after my second OWI, I was like, man, I have to change. And I wish I would say that was the last time I did anything, but I didn't. I used and I drank for about 8 more months, and then after that, after 8 more months, at this time, I had gotten fired from the construction job because I injured myself at work, and then they drug test me. What do you think happens when they drug test me? I failed that thing,
Mm-hmm.
so I got fired from the job that I was providing for my family.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got fired, and then I got the OWI a month later, and then I had to get a new job. So then I was working at Wells Blue Bunny,
Hmm.
and I was trying to get my real estate license, but I was still drinking and using, and I worked this job, and then it came fall 2022. I had enough. I was behind on my mortgage. I was behind on my utilities. I was paying my utilities every other month just to keep them on.
Wow.
So it basically, I'd pay the water and the electric would go 2 months, and I'll pay the electric and the water would go 2 months. Before I was getting those termination notices all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was behind on my mortgage. I was at a job that I absolutely hated. It felt like prison. I didn't like it.
The Blue Bunny job.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I
Yeah.
mean, it pays the bills,
Yeah.
but it wasn't for me, and I felt like I was trapped. And I was 2 months away from my real estate license expiring, where I would have to do the whole 60 hours and the 312s, and all the money I put into it up to that point would have expired, and I would have to start over.
Mm.
So I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, is this what you want for your kids? Is this what you want for yourself? So September 26, 2022, I woke up with the hangover for the last time, because that was the night before I drank, and I said, I'm not doing this again. I can't live like this. I gotta get back on my feet. And then I finally started putting everything into real estate. At this time, I don't know God still,
Mm-hmm.
but He still saved me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know God, but I have common sense, right? You keep you keep acting like this, you're gonna lose your family.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose your house. You're gonna lose yourself.
Yep.
So September 26, 2022, which September is next month,
At the time of this, yep.
I will be 3 years sober.
Yeah.
So that was the last time I ever drank or did drugs. So on that day, I made the decision to choose better for myself, and not only for myself, but for my family too.
Mm-hmm.
So I studied, got my real estate license. I failed once the test, and it's okay if you fail, right? But I felt like giving up. I felt like a loser
Mm-hmm.
because I failed the test. And I know I said I was book smart, right? But you probably failed once or twice too.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, we all have. Yeah.
Yeah. So I failed the test, and I went back, studied again. When I think 1 or 2 weeks later, I went and did it again, passed, and I felt like a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Around this time, Hannah and I had started talking because I slid up on the story. I slid into the DMs, guys. So be careful on whose story you react to.
It works. And
'Cause a year later, you might end up married.
real quick, y'all knew each other from high school, right?
Yeah.
So she was in your life, but y'all weren't a thing yet.
Yeah. So Hannah, I was friends with Hannah's brother Alex, and we were not good for each other at the time. I'm talking about me and Alex.
Oh, okay.
We're troublemakers, both of us. We were at the time.
Yeah, he has a testimony as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So he shared the other day.
Yep.
But so Hannah was his brother, or Hannah is his sister, and I low-key had a crush on her.
Mm-hmm.
But I never say anything to her. And then today she said she was intimidated by who I was at that time. Probably because I was a big jerk. You know?
Big jerks can be intimidating.
I agree. I agree. So, I got sober, and me and Hannah around this time we started talking. We went on a first date. We went to bowling on a first date. Who does that, right?
Hmm.
She, I don't know if she wants me to tell you this, but she ordered a beer. She wasn't sober at the time,
Mm.
and I was like, I'm sober. I won't drink.
Good for you.
I literally won't drink.
Good.
And she said she never met anybody that was sober.
Wow.
She said, I never met anybody that wouldn't drink. You were the first one.
Wow.
So Hannah and I, backstory, we had similar lives in regards to the whole festival going, partying, drinking, using drugs, psychedelics. We've have similar experiences, but we've never used together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
like,
unique.
it is, right?
Yeah.
So we can always relate to each other about how we felt when we were using or when we got sober, but we've never done it together.
Yeah.
And that creates like a special bond for us,
Yeah. That's unique.
So we started talking, and I knew it was special, but I knew it wouldn't be serious if she wasn't sober.
Hmm.
And I didn't tell her that.
Yeah. But you knew.
I think we both knew.
She knew too.
I think we both knew.
Yeah.
So 3 months after we started talking, she said, I'm quitting now too.
Yeah.
I think she first told me when she was like a month, 30 days in or something. So yeah, that's a little backstory on Hannah. So we knew we were special right away, and Hannah introduced me to the church. Okay, I'd never been to church. Maybe when my grandma died, a funeral. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
different though. So Hannah invited me to this little church in a small town, and we started going, and I kind of liked it. You met
Yeah.
some people over there. I didn't have nobody. When you get sober, you lose all your friends.
Right. Right.
So
yeah.
Hannah and I, we got sober together, and we both lost all of our friends.
Right.
So all we had was each other.
Mm-hmm.
I lost all my friends were using, so we both like mutually cut each other off. Right.
Yep.
You're like, they knew that they weren't good for me, and I knew they weren't good for me.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't hang out no more.
Mhm.
And same with Hannah's friends. So we lost everybody because we got sober together. So we only had each other. And when we started going to church, I started meeting new friends who didn't drink and use drugs. And that was a new thing for me too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, these people,
They find fulfillment in other things.
exactly,
they don't
right?
need- yeah.
So I was chasing, and this would be like a great short right here, all right? I was chasing fulfillment from anything in this world, from friends, from family, from drugs or alcohol, women. I chase fulfillment from anything. Nothing filled my cup up as much as the Lord does.
Hmm.
The Lord fills me up,
Mm-hmm.
and the worship music fills me up,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes me so happy because 3 years ago, I wouldn't be able to tell you what makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I just got my real estate. All right, right now we're early 2023. Just got my real estate license. I work at Wells Blue Bunny, and I just fell in love with my now wife Hannah. So I actually got fired from Wells 6 months into my real estate career, which at the time I didn't know what was going on. I trusted God. This is probably the first time, I'm barely going to church for like 3-4 months right now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the first time I actually was like crying out to God for help.
Yeah.
I never might pray if I before then if
Mhm.
I was like super down, but
Mhm.
I didn't know God,
Yeah.
and I knew God knew me. But so I got fired. s- Uh, I got fired on May 12th, 2023. And driving home from Lamar's, I was crying and praying the whole way. I said, God, I don't want to get another job, but I trust you. Whatever you want me to do. Never got another W-2 job again after that. So at the time, I was broken because I'm like, I have no pendings, I no sales, no clients.
Hmm.
How am I going to provide for my family? And I was still like financially not caught up from the when I wasn't sober.
Right.
It was like this was over 6 months in. I still hasn't caught back up
Yep.
because it's just over there they're cutting hours. Like it was God's plan for sure.
Of course. Yeah.
So once I left there, I put everything into real estate. I didn't get a commission check for 10 weeks after I got fired.
Hmm.
And that was scary. 10 weeks
Oh yeah.
without a check for paying for your
Yeah. When you
mortgage,
have
your
a
bills,
family.
your
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a long stretch. But you get out of real estate what you put into it. So I didn't see failure as an option.
Right.
Failure wasn't an option for me.
Mhm.
So I busted. And then right around the time I started getting checks again, so I went from like May to about August, no checks. I was baptized August 27th, 2023.
Hmm.
So like I had made the commitment to get baptized, but the old church, they don't do it once a month. They
Yeah.
probably do it like once a year.
Yeah. Yeah. They're smaller. They have less. Yeah.
Yeah, they have less resources, so they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, we're gonna do baptism. This is our one shot
Yeah.
of the year."
Yeah.
I'm doing it,
Yeah.
and I had a lot of unforgiveness in my heart still.
Sure.
Um, I had a lot of unforgiveness in my heart, but when I got baptized, I came out and I had a call from somebody who I in my words at the time did not like. I don't want to say hate, but I did not like this guy. He called me out of nowhere, asking me for see how I was.
Hmm.
And Hannah was like, talk about forgiveness. I
Yeah.
I came out the water and
Yeah.
forgiveness was there.
Yep.
You know? Also, what I want to say about Restoration Church, when my wife and I were coming here for the men's group,
Yep.
when my wife and I were coming here for the men's group, Andrew Carson shared his testimony at the men's meeting.
Yeah.
And up to this point, I feel like I was the only one that had the problems that I had.
Hmm.
I feel like nobody knew my hurt.
Yeah.
Nobody been through what I've been through, and nobody could fix me.
Mhm.
But Andrew Carson, I did it again. Hey, love you, Andrew, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, so Andrew Carson shared his testimony, and it was based. I don't remember every single word of it, but he was based on forgiveness,
Yeah.
right? And that night, Alex, Hannah's brother, shared to me something that I feel like I was the only I was the only one with this problem,
Mhm.
and he shared to me saying that he had a similar experience where when he got older, his dad, who he grew up with, wasn't his dad, like his actual dad, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I was the only one with that
Yeah.
problem.
Your same situation.
So when he told me that, and Andrew had
Mhm.
shared his story about forgiveness, the next day I went to my dad's. I call him my dad, right? So I went to my dad's shop. He's a mechanic. I went over there and I pulled up, and I just prayed and I said, "Lord, I can't do this without you.
Hmm.
Can't do this." And he gave me the strength, and I walked up, and him and his coworker were there, and I said, "Hey, can I talk to you outside?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, "I just want you to know I forgive you."
Wow.
It took me 10 years
Hmm.
to say that, maybe a little bit more.
Mhm.
But 10 years, I held that hate in my heart, and I let it break me day in, day in and day out, I let it break me.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I forgive you. That's all I wanted to say. He busted down crying.
Wow.
He's a bodybuilder. He's a
Yeah.
big guy. You see him at the wedding?
I'm sure I did, but I can't
There's a lot of
picture it right
people.
now. Yeah.
A lot of people. So he's a bodybuilder. He's a big dude. You don't want to get in a fight with that guy. I told him, well, Jesus told me to tell him,
Right.
I forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 words broke him down, bro.
Wow.
And he felt the presence too.
Wow.
He said, I made mistakes too. And he said he wanted to reach out to me first, but he didn't know how.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he didn't know how because he didn't have the Lord.
Yeah.
But when I started accepting the Lord into my life, he gave me the power to forgive him.
Yeah.
Immediately, I felt like my shoulders were lifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt so much happier. I didn't have to carry that burden no more.
Mm-hmm.
And around, wait, no. So a short time after that, I'll just say, a short time after that, I shared my testimony for the first time in a recovery group.
Right.
And as I was saying to Pastor Scott before we got here, I shared every detail. It was like an hour long.
Yeah.
I shared every detail of everything I've ever done wrong. And I didn't talk about the good parts.
Yeah.
Towards the end, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But I shared everything I ever done wrong. And I probably wasn't the best testimony ever, but a lot of people resonated with it.
Of course. Yeah.
And I felt like I also felt free from that as well. Like
Right.
I was finally like releasing all the hurt that I had
Right.
instead of holding it all in.
Mm-hmm.
I was all bottled up for many years.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I share my testimony, it's different. This is the first time it's ever going to be on the interweb forever. Right?
Forever.
First time ever, right? It doesn't mean
Forever.
it won't be again, but first time it's being recorded.
Yeah.
But when I started allowing Jesus into my heart, and when I allowed him to work through me and release the pain that I had, that I felt like I would never be able to let go of, I felt like a different person. I am a different person.
Yeah.
I don't have to hurt people anymore.
Right.
I don't have to run to any worldly things like marijuana or alcohol
Mm-hmm.
because I'm hurt, right? I don't have to run away. Now I just run to.
Mm.
I run to Jesus,
Yeah.
there was a saying I want to say. I used to drink to forget. Now I drink to remember.
Communion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I like it. I like it.
Yes, sir. I like it. So when I got baptized, 2023. After that, the Lord keep blessing me.
Yeah.
I sold 24 houses my first year, which is like pretty impressive.
Dang. Yeah, that's good.
My second year, which was last year, 2024, I sold 39 houses. This year, in August, we've already passed that, and we're shooting for 60.
Oh my gosh.
I've hired my wife.
Congratulations.
I hired 2 assistants. So I have like literally a team of people with me.
That's awesome.
And when people ask me how am I doing, I just say blessed.
Yeah.
And my friend's Donnie T. In the words of my friend Donnie T, he says, stupid blessed. I don't deserve none of this.
Yes.
I don't deserve none of this. And at first, when I first heard that, I was like, really? But then he explained to me like what he meant. He's like, I don't need to be going through Starbucks getting in my iced coffee in my Jeep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that guy. But when he told me that, I never forgot it because
Right.
we don't deserve none of this.
No, we don't.
And at this point, Hannah and I are having our first kid together.
Yes.
I was able to remodel the house with the knowledge I have from construction, right? So I
Yeah.
probably saved tens of thousands on just labor right
Yeah.
there. So like I don't deserve to have anything that I have, and especially especially after the things that I've done, right?
Right.
I feel like when I was doing those things, I felt like I was going to hell, and I knew it
Hmm.
because I didn't know the Lord.
Right.
Now I know I'm not going to hell
Yeah.
because I know him
Yeah.
and I give my life to him, right?
Yeah.
So last year, 2024, I mean, business aside, was a blessing for us because we got to meet and get closer. Well, we first started coming here in January,
Right.
and we got to actually be a part of a church.
Mm-hmm.
The other church, I mean, I won't say who they are, but there was
Right.
no growth.
Right.
There was no growth. We weren't growing within. But here, it is. I mean, especially after my dad thing, when I forgave him,
Hmm.
like that's restoration, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that's not hope and healing,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Seriously.
You know, so
Yeah.
I held that hate in my heart for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and just coming here, and I knew I was here for a reason because otherwise I wouldn't have done it.
Right.
Swear I wouldn't have done it if I didn't come here and hear that testimony that night from Andrew.
Yeah.
And Alex told me the same thing.
Divine appointment.
Everything was just lined up how God wanted it. So we got pretty involved with friends last year, growing. Hannah and I growing together, growing with people at the church, obviously growing the business. But this year, my friend Scott asked me to work with the youth. So now I'm a youth leader, and I love it because I get to work with teenagers who probably not as troubled as I was, but if I'm able to at least touch one of them and get to them, help them out, and let them know that you don't have to run to anything else besides the Lord.
Right.
When I was drinking and I was lost and I was broken, I was probably on the verge of suicide
Hmm.
because I didn't think that there was any other option.
Right.
And one night we're over here at the youth, and it's a little bit more accepted, I would say, nowadays than it was probably 5-10 years ago for the whole mental health thing.
Yeah. More people talk about it.
Yeah, and that's good, right?
I think it's a good thing. Yeah.
So like they were talking about it, and I seen dozens of kids talk about their feelings and their
Right.
troubles, and I told Scott afterwards, I said, I wish I had that when I was a kid.
Right.
Like when I was running around, I wish I had the opportunity to talk to somebody or somebody lead me to the Lord.
Yeah.
Instead, I was let free and I didn't make good decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
I mean the kids don't know my story, but they relate to me because they know like I'm with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with them. I treat them like my own.
Yeah.
So just helping out with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a commitment, Scott. It's a commitment.
Yeah, he knows.
Talking about every Wednesday, no breaks. I'm just kidding.
This is a great recruiting for your future leaders, Scott.
We do give breaks.
I'm just kidding. Hey, I have the past few months. I have told Scott, "Hey, can't make it, bro. We're getting ready for this baby."
Yeah, he should understand. Him of all people.
Yeah. The last 2 years, since I've been baptized, have been nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah.
Scott, Aaron, Pastor Johnny, everybody at this church at Restoration welcomed me with open arms. I felt so valued. I felt cared about.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I belonged for the first time in a long time. And now I get this little life group, bro. We get to hang out with people.
Join that. We see each other every other Monday.
Yeah, we get to hang out like more often.
Yeah.
So like I felt welcomed, I felt loved, and I felt restored. And I know it's all part of God's plan. And at the end of the day, God, He's the Almighty. He's a way maker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's just words cannot express. Words definitely cannot express what God has done in my life. He's pulled me out of the deepest trenches, and he's beyond blessed me.
Mm-hmm.
And now, just because I'm blessed, just because I'm happy and giddy all the time, doesn't mean I have hard days.
Right.
I got tough days too, guys. And I got tough days, but at this point in my life, there's nothing that can affect me
Yeah.
that that God can't help me with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every situation that I have that I go through, there's some situations that would have wrecked me a
Yeah.
few years ago.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, all right, this is what we got to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So
Yeah.
there's, nobody's perfect.
Right.
And I'm far from perfect, even now, there, I'm far from perfect. And even now, like, I do my best to be Christ like, but we all fall short.
That's true. That's scripture right there.
We can never, we can never be perfect. And, there's only one perfect man.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jesus.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I pray and I say, Lord, it may sound very repetitive, right? Johnny says pray it 100 times, maybe the
Yeah.
101st
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just say, hey, just tell me what you want me to do.
Yeah. That's all we can do. Yeah.
It doesn't always like come clear
Right.
as other times do.
Right.
Sometimes it comes clear as day.
Yep.
Sometimes you're just don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
But when you don't hear nothing, you have to have faith.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be like, all right, I still know what to do, and I
Mm-hmm.
still have to do it for you. He's changed me.
Yeah.
And he can change you too.
Definitely.
And if there's anybody out there, like you said, anybody, or you or a family member feels like you don't belong or you're not enough or you don't think you can get through this, just know you're one call away. You call upon the Lord and he can save you.
Mm.
If he can do it for me, who I was my whole life, I didn't know the Lord until 2 years ago. I didn't know the Lord. I did a lot of bad things. And he could save me. He could save you.
I just want to say that I know you are giving us a lot of, like, you love us, you care about us, but I think you've affected my life a lot more than you realize. Like,
Same.
there's not a lot of people that in this world that are our age that are willing to admit, like, they've been through stuff. And I think the thing in my life that you've taught me is in every situation and everything we go through, like, in anything you've ever gone through, like, you've always kept the joy. Like, you've never lost it. And, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I asked you to step into youth ministry and help us is because there was something I knew that you had, that the Lord showed me, not me knowing anything. The Lord showed me that you had that this generation needs, and it's someone that's willing to say, hey, I did mess up, but look what God can do even though I messed up. And the joy that you have, I mean, I know our kids, when they see you, like, they're excited to see you, even when you're not there.
All the life group kids love Chance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And the students, when you're not there, I have students coming up to me, where's Chance? Where's he at? And stuff. So as much as you say we've affected you, you've affected a lot of people's lives. I don't want you to look past that at all.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I appreciate you, brother. And I look back on these relationships I have and what I've done already in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, like, what would have happened if I would have said no?
Right.
What would have happened if I
Yep.
would have still lived my life that I was living?
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably been people in my life I didn't make a good impression on, right? But at the end of the day, all I can do is ask for forgiveness the way I've
Yeah.
been forgiven.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree with Scott too. You've impacted me and Tori as well. We love you guys, you and Hannah, and our life group friends too. We've gotten to know each other, and
You guys live up to a better standard than some Christians.
yeah.
that
So I was gonna get
have
to
been
that.
saved
Will you
their
go to
whole
this
lives.
angle real quick? I was gonna get to that here. Chance's story. First of all, I hope is encouraging to you watching or listening. Whether you have a similar story of addiction or turning to things to try to satisfy you and it doesn't work, like Chance here, or you know of someone like he said, or whatever it is you're going through. Really, it may be it's not all. I'm one of the examples. I grew up in church. I never had a substance. I never had any kind of relationship with that or anything like that, and I can't relate to that. But I can relate to being in a dark place and not knowing where to turn. Right. But I hope Chance's story encourages you that God can do anything, like he said, and there's nothing else that can satisfy you. And now with Christ in my life and in your life as our cornerstone, when we face those rough times, I'm thankful that I have Him as a cornerstone. But what I was going to get at, what Pastor Scott was saying was, and I forgot to mention this during the open, but what I told you was I wanted to say thank you and commend you and Hannah for doing it right, for doing the wedding right. And what I wanted to say, and I told you all this too, is the way y'all did that, a wedding is a really significant thing. And that's why people get married in church. But like it's something that is biblical and is God ordained. And the way that y'all gave God the glory at that wedding, like I said, it was such a worshipful experience. I told Tori, I said that wedding I just did, these two people, one of them, I knew your story, I didn't know Hannah's story. So one of them is a fairly new Christian. I'm assuming she kind of was. She had a little different relationship with church. I said they've both been recently rededicated. I said that wedding and the reception, by the way, which there was no alcohol at the reception, and it was all worship music, which I had never experienced that. And I said, they are setting a better example of a more godly example of how to honor God at a wedding and stuff like that than some people that grew up in the church, right? We have people that have grown up in church and they get married and they see it as a pass to, do things that maybe we shouldn't do, right? And I wanted to commend you and Hannah for again honoring God in that wedding ceremony and in the reception. And I really truly believe all the fruits of what you're seeing now was due to that as well. Not all because of that,
Yeah.
but that was definitely part of it. And I also wanted to say, I know me and you had a conversation a while ago about how your son Chance and your other kids are seeing the environment they know at home is completely different than what you grew up with.
Absolutely.
And that's how it works. And Pastor Johnny's talked about that before, that the father of the house or the parents of the house, they set the example. And the kids watch what the parents do. And because Jesus changed your life, and I want to say that too, if you decide to follow Jesus, it won't only change and improve your life, it'll be for your kids and your family as well.
Generations.
Exactly, generations.
Generations. Remember I told you I'm a first
Yeah.
generation believer.
Yeah, and I said that wear that as a badge of honor because you are the one that's turning the tide and you're the one that's setting that. And I think that's an amazing thing. And I think also, it's not just you, it's your family that's seeing favor, your wife and your kids. And it's just it's such an encouragement to me. Every time I see you, I'm reminded of God's faithfulness. And I'm thankful for our friendship. You've impacted me in a great way too. And we're thankful for you and for Hannah. We have prayed for friends as well. We're blessed. We love all of our life group friends. They're the best. Scott too, I guess. And we're thankful for the people God have sent us. But that was something we were worried about because Tori was in Iowa, but she had moved away. And so when we came back, a lot of her friends had already moved on or got married. There's some exceptions like Michaela, they've gotten along. But I wasn't from here, and I was afraid we'd be lonely. But God has really greatly blessed us with friends, and you are very much part of that.
Yeah.
Scott too, I guess. But
unless we're playing pickleball, then
okay. Ooh. Talk about competitive. Yeah, he's a competitive pickleball player too. That's been a lot of fun too. But Chance, I can't say thank you enough for being bold and sharing your testimony. I know for some people it's not easy. I mean, like you said, it's gonna forever be on the internet. So
Yeah, the interweb for sure.
so right. But thank you for giving us your time. I know you're busy selling houses, and at this point, baby can be here any day.
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping that your wife didn't go into labor during this, but
I don't think so.
But thank you for sharing this, and I really hope this is encouragement to people.
No, I appreciate
So-
you. Hey, can you switch back to the other camera? Hey, guys, like I said, the Lord is faithful. I appreciate you having me here, Aaron, Scott. It's been amazing. I'm always available. I'm an open book. What you're seeing now is at like a 30, 40,000 foot view. But if you ever feel alone, if you ever need somebody, reach out because that's what I did. And it feels awkward at first. It feels weird, but nobody knows what you're going through unless you talk about it, right?
Mhm.
So you guys can reach out to me. You see me at church, you can say hi. You see me on the gram, as people say. I'm just kidding.
Do they say that?
I'm just kidding.
I can confirm nobody says that.
On the talk.
On the book. All right,
That was even worse, Derek.
if
On the book.
yeah, exactly. If you see me, I'm an open book, and I'm caring, I'm loving, and I'm supportive. Always feel free to reach out. I'm always here to help. Thanks for having me, brother.
Thanks for being here. If you watch this and you're encouraged by it, please share it with someone. YouTube link, Apple Podcast, Spotify. But thank you, Chance, for being here, and we hope that this brought some hope and healing to your life.
Thanks for watching or listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Or if you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, add this show to your library. And if you could drop us a rating or review, that would be awesome. Love y'all. Shalom.